Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about people being unhappy with the direction the country is headed and why that didn't have the impact on the election that some people were expecting it to. And it goes back to what the question is really asking when it comes to polls and why sometimes polls may lead you to the wrong conclusion. So, message. Long-time listener, first-time caller, I need you to clear one thing up for me. I'm a Republican, but I'm the kind of Republican that was happy when Trump lost. I understand about the young vote and the women being mad. I disagree with it, but it isn't my business. Again, I'm a Republican from the days of strong fences. But one stat keeps messing me up. More than 2/3 of Americans are unhappy with the direction of the country. Why did they vote to put the same party back in? I would preferred a bunch of people like that pretty girl you interviewed. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name now, but I voted for her based on that interview. Why did they vote the same people back in? Still glad MAGA lost. Caramond, that's who you voted for. The question is, are you happy with the direction of the country? And 2/3 of people said no. I would imagine that people watching this channel, almost all of them would say no. But that doesn't mean that they would vote for a Republican instead. There's a bunch of people who are unhappy with the direction of the country because they think we're taking the long way to get to where we need to go, not that we're driving in the wrong direction. So they would rather have the Democratic Party, which is slowly moving us where we need to be, as opposed to a hyper-nationalist party that is moving in the wrong direction. When you look at people like Mund, the perfect example, very reminiscent of like a Bush-era Republican, what you would probably call a normal Republican. That's why you identified with her. Conservative, but not an authoritarian nationalist. And a lot of the candidates that were run by the Republican Party were authoritarian nationalists. That they were people who tried actively to subvert the election. You have people who actually won, who have stood arm in arm with a person who, after these results of the midterms, said that the only real solution was dictatorship. That is not the direction that people want to head. And this isn't a period in time where both parties are center-right, with the Democratic Party just a little bit more to the left. The Democratic Party is center-right, and the Republican Party, because of the impacts of the MAGA faction, are super far right, headed in a direction that nobody wants to go to. So even those who might be disaffected with the performance of the Democratic Party, they're definitely not going to vote Republican. The only way forward for the Republican Party is to get rid of that faction, is to go back to being normal Republicans, to being conservatives, not authoritarian nationalists. I don't think the Republican Party has learned that lesson yet. So you are probably in for at least a couple more years of people saying the country is headed in the wrong direction and the Democratic Party winning. Because a lot of independents, they see that news. They see the Republican Party talking points. They see the attacks on democratic institutions, and they reject that. Even though that's not done by the party in power, it's heading in the wrong direction. So it factors into people answering that question. It's one of those times where the phrasing of the question can get responses that lead people to draw the wrong conclusions. Had that been, do you think that the Democratic Party or the Republican Party is more likely to offer a sustainable future, people would have gone with the Democratic Party based on the results from the midterms. That's what it is. It's not a sign that the nationalists are right and there's something wrong with the election. It's that the independent voter, the vast majority of Americans, are very upset about the attacks on democratic institutions, and they see that as the country heading the wrong way, the fact that those are going on. So they answer that question in that way, but they're not blaming the party in power, because it's not the party in power. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.